Would you pay extra for a Disney After Hours event on a cold, rainy, and very windy night? Hello, Gem fam. Welcome and welcome back to our channel. Tonight was our very first Sweethearts Night, and the weather definitely made its presence known. We're talking steady rain, gusty winds, umbrellas trying their best, the whole situation. We've been seeing so many questions about whether these separately ticketed Disney events are really worth the extra cost, especially when conditions aren't exactly ideal. So we're taking you along to see what a rainy, windy Sweethearts Night actually feels like. Does the atmosphere make up for the weather, or does a night like this change the value of a premium event? Let's find out.
We have our Sweetheart Nights credentials acquired, and we are going through the classic process of looking over the maps and trying to figure out what the heck we want to do, because I did not plan ahead of time. This is a little bit of paralysis by analysis. Now, spoiler alert, despite the nice sunny clouds behind us, it is supposed to start raining like mad at 7 p.m. The party starts at 9. So we're kind of trying to plan around what to do when it's going to be pouring rain. We've asked some of the cast members what some of the contingency stuff is, and they really didn't want to commit to anything. So at this point, it's anybody's guess. I think we're going to try and do a couple of the snacks, but obviously the hot item is the heart-shaped Mickey beignet. You can either, like, the earliest pre-order window, mobile order window is like midnight. So either everybody's already grabbed everything between 9 and midnight, or they just haven't opened those up, so we may stand in line. They're available at 2 locations, the Mint Julep and Tiana's Palace, but Tiana's doesn't have anything after 8 p.m., so we will try and figure that out. Characters are high on the menu tonight. We're definitely going to try and meet a bunch of those.
Most searched question is, when it rains during Sweethearts Night, is it still worth it?
Most searched by Jin. Jin's been frantically trying to figure out what to do tonight.
This is our first Sweetheart Night ever, and we're going to be rained out, so we're going to make the best.
Which is not uncommon in February, apparently. So
yeah, so we're going to make the best out of it and let you know next year when you're planning on coming to Sweetheart Night, the chance of rain in Southern California is quite high.
In February.
Yeah, exactly. So we'll let you know if it's kind of worth your time or money, and then what the modifications are. Already saw a sign out there setting the expectation that some entertainment things and character meets and greets will be modified. So nobody knows what it's going to be yet. So this will be luck of the
We're
draw.
kind of looking at the map and going, okay, is this character close to a spot that's got an indoor space? Will they likely be out there? So,
okay, well, I think my goal tonight is to get a couple of those step into the scene photo pass opportunities. Hopefully they still have the props and everything that's outside. Biggest draw apparently is the Tangled lantern scene. So we'll see, we'll find out. And they've got a bunch of other entertainment. They have a mariachi band, they have a jazz band. Apparently there's like an open night karaoke for Disney duets.
Oh, that's all you. That is not me. I will save everybody else's eardrums.
All right, I guess we're prepared for the worst, hoping for the best, so we'll take you along tonight.
So, honestly, the fun part is this is a no-pressure night, I think. Like, I'm just here.
We might not be able to see anything tonight.
All right, let's see how it goes.
Good luck.
So Disneyland is actually really good about letting party guests grab their event wristbands well ahead of time, which brings us to our first tip of the night. If you can get into the party early, we highly recommend doing it. Sweethearts Night officially starts at 9 p.m., but ticket holders were allowed into the park as early as 6 p.m. And if you're a Magic Key holder or already have a day ticket, you can just stay inside the park and pick up your party credentials, which honestly saved a lot of hassle at the front gate. So now at this point, the rain obviously hasn't started yet, but Mike and I have been watching the weather app like absolute hawks. The first wave is supposed to roll in right around 9 p.m., basically as the party starts. And from everything we've researched beforehand, the Tangled step into the scene is extremely popular. So naturally, here we are, standing in the unofficial pre-queue. Definitely quite a bit early, but we're very well aware of the clock and the clouds, and so might as well just stand in line and put this time to use. So we've been standing in line for the Tangled boat ride for a little while. That is at the Royal Theater. This one is really weird. The unofficial line has formed. You know, as Disney people, when there's an unofficial queue, the pre-line, people will stand in it. But we're not really sure exactly what's going to happen, because tonight, ironically, when it rains, that is the one step into the scene photo booth that will close. So there are a bunch of them that are outside, but this one that is the one that's the inside one is going to close due to rain. So everybody's just crossing their fingers and toes, making sure that, I'm hoping that we would get in. Essentially, they're saying that even if it rains before the set time, they're going to close the queue. So we've been just standing in line for a little while, just trying to see what's going on. That is definitely a very, very popular, I guess, photo booth opportunity. So I think everybody's just hoping that we would get in. They're starting to set it up. So I'm hoping that they would open up the
the scene a little bit early. I think it's right around 6:30. They said the cast member was kind of doing their little public service announcement. They were saying that they officially don't open until 9, and people were like, you know what, we're just gonna be here for 2 or 3 hours standing in the pre-queue. But so that's kind of the situation right now. I think Disney is doing everything they can to move a lot of the experiences inside. I know that we are having some couples that are used to that would typically be outside. I think they're going to move them into the Royal Hall, which is kind of their inside princess meet and greet normally during the day. So I think they're going to try to accommodate as much as possible, and I think they're going to put a bunch of other characters that are either typically roaming or they would be meeting outside, inside, or undercover. So we'll see. The rain is supposed to come right around the start of the party, so I don't know. So far, it's our first time at Sweethearts Nite, and we're seeing a little bit of rain. So like this, and it does rain quite a bit here in Southern California during this month. So I'm hoping that you'll see some of the things that we're experiencing, what is showing, what is not showing, what is being modified. So hopefully this will give you some idea of what's happening for next year, so you can plan ahead. All right, I'm gonna go back to the pre-queue, not the queue, but the pre-queue, and join Mike. It's so crazy, but all of the pre-order here in Disneyland, they do allow you to pre-order ahead for the party time, which is a little bit different from, say, Mickey's Not So Scary or Very Merry, where you're pretty much limited and locked in to order your food after the party begins. So when we check the pre-mobile order windows, everything is after midnight. So I don't really want to drink a cold brew at like 12:20 a.m. tomorrow morning. So I think we're going to forego that. The Mint Julep, they have a chocolate beignet that is special to this event. That is all sold out. I mean, all the windows are essentially locked in until next morning. So we're just fiddle-faddling, seeing if we can pull some sort of a pre-order, item. So that's what we've been doing. And I guess we'll see you in a little bit and see what the rain situation is and see if we can catch Tangled. So yep, Disney did a thing. We were standing in what we thought was the unofficial pre-queue, fully assumed this would eventually become the start of the line. And to be fair, the cast member did tell us this wasn't an official queue and that they reserved the right to open it from a different location, and they absolutely did that. They opened the actual queue on the complete opposite side of where we were standing, which meant the whole crowd of us suddenly had to scramble across the area to find the real starting point. So lesson learned, if you're going to pre-queue for something popular, just know you're doing at your own peril. And all I have to say, the Tangled step into the scene was totally worth it. Even though the line looked long, it actually moved really quickly since each group was limited to just 3 poses. It felt really efficient, and we are very glad we got it done before the rain started. Now, technically, the party hasn't officially begun yet, but we've made our way over to the Royal Hall where the royal couples are meeting and greeting. Another tip for the night, make sure you're checking the Disneyland app for character location and meeting times. We're hoping for Belle and the Beast, but cast members have been very clear that this is a bit of a character roulette situation. You don't actually know which couples you're going to meet. And sure enough, there are multiple couples sharing that same 9:15 start time. So we shall see. I guess we're about to find out. And you know what? We totally lucked out. We got Belle and the Beast, which are the exact character we were hoping for. And I was so happy we got to meet them. And bonus, we also got Snow White, but not with their prince. She was with Dopey. And Snow White was in her rare village outfit, which was such a fun surprise. The line actually moved pretty quickly, so that felt like a win. And now that we've checked off 2 big character moments, we can officially get the rest of the party started, and right on cue, the rain is starting to come down as well. Okay, so not gonna lie, we definitely spent a good chunk of the pre-party and even the beginning of the party standing in lines. And before we knew it, it was already 9:40, so now it's officially time to get some other party fun going. First off, a party specialty churro we had our eyes on. The churro cart next to Sleeping Beauty Castle luckily had it in stock, and while Mike jumped in line to grab that, I got completely distracted. Out of nowhere, 4 royal couples just appeared. We're talking Megara and Hercules, Rapunzel and Eugene, Aladdin is full Prince Ali look with Jasmine, and Tiana with Naveen. And they were just casually out there posing for photos, no major cues, no big announcement, just suddenly there. It was such a fun and unexpected surprise. Now back to the churro. This one was the strawberry and chocolate churro. Definitely messy with the chocolate dipping sauce, but still really good. I mean, you really can't go wrong with Disneyland churros. Sorry, Disney World.
Okay, it's just about time for the first parade, and the weather is definitely not looking great. The rain's starting to come down a little more steadily, and the wind is picking up, and we're kind of just looking at each other like, is this actually going to happen? But oddly enough, there are still a lot of guests lining the parade route, so I go over to check with the cast member just to manage expectation, and they tell me it's slightly delayed, but it's still happening. So now we're walking towards It's a Small World, kind of listening, kind of waiting, and then we hear the music start, and that's when we know, okay, it's actually on. Now, I will say this is definitely more of a cavalcade than a full parade. We are really grateful that Disney didn't just cancel it outright, because from what we've heard in past years, rain usually meant no parade at all. That said, this is absolutely a condensed and modified version. The performers are still out there in their themed outfit, which, by the way, major respect in this weather. But instead of elaborate floats rolling down the route, their characters are riding in Main Street vehicles. It's simplified, it's streamlined, very clearly the rainy day edition. So if you came specifically hoping to see the full production with all the floats and choreography, this isn't quite that. But at the same time, I do appreciate that they built in the backup version instead of just canceling the whole thing. Actually reminds us of Tokyo Disneyland's Electrical Parade B mode, we'll link that below, where it's not the full show, but it's still something. Is it the complete parade experience? No. But for our first Sweethearts Nite, in the wind and the rain, I'm genuinely glad that they still made the effort to bring it out.
We actually managed to do quite a bit of standing in line, to be perfectly honest with you. As we were walking towards Small World, there was another, like the Aladdin step into the scene. Right now, like I said, we're just gonna try to prioritize as much as we can. We're gonna head on over to the other side of the park to catch a couple of pretty rare characters. There's that couple, Kita, Princess Kita and Milo. And then the other one whom I really want to meet is actually Charlotte Le Bouff, or Latte, from Princess and the Frog. So again, you know, like just a lot of this is pretty much the line standing is going to suck a lot of time, but the 4 hours go really, really fast. So, all right, we're going to scramble over there. And as we were walking by, they made the announcement that there's this stage show that they are doing, that they're moving it from the in front of the castle to the Golden Horseshoe. But supposedly the Golden Horseshoe should have had this couples like karaoke. I think it's called the Disney Duets. I think I talked about it a little bit at the beginning of the party, but no, that's going away. But hey, we'll take whatever we can get. Last night at Sweetheart Nite, and doing pretty well here. Mike's got a double coat on, so I think he's
it's chilly.
It's quite, yeah, so. It is not warm outside. All right.
Found Lottie. She's back over by Tiana's Palace right in front of the entrance. So if you're kind of heading back over towards the Blue Bayou area, that's where she's at. We stopped off on the way, listened to the jazz quartet. They sang a song to us because we had been together the longest with another couple, so that was kind of cool. So we sophomore shuffle danced in the back, so that was fun.
They saw us dancing too, so that was great. We had a song. The Ray something jazz band dedicated the song to us, Mike and June. So here we go. We were over there roaming and looking for Lottie because apparently in the rain, when it's raining, she roams over there with undercover, but when it's not raining, she's doing her wild woman routine here at Tiana's Palace. So we saw her. Hopefully the line's not cut off. We can't wait. She's wonderful. So time to read Lottie.
All right,
sorry, but I will. I'll keep my eyes out for it.
Somebody is.
All right. I'll take him back.
All right.
Thank you, Lottie.
Wasn't Lottie just the cutest? She has all of that warm, over-the-top Southern charm. You can't help but smile around her. I totally forgot to mention, I was able to score the chocolate heart-shaped beignets with strawberry dipping sauce. Now, earlier in the night, the mobile order window for mint julep bar was basically impossible to get. So again, flexibility is the name of the game. Keep checking, refresh, fiddle-faddle a little bit, time do pop up. I ended up scheduling our pickup window for around 10:40, which is actually working out really well. So now we're just kind of roaming around the Tiana's Palace area waiting waiting for a pickup time. There's a Latin and pop music DJ set happening. People are just dancing. The DJ was actually listed near It's a Small World, basically on the opposite of the park. Things are definitely shifting around a bit tonight. At this point, we're just rolling with it. And what can I say? These Beignets were totally worth the wait. Rich, gooey chocolate, fresh strawberry, and that perfectly fluffy dough. And the strawberry sauce actually tastes fresh, not artificial. On a rainy night like tonight, they were kind of perfect. Remember how Once Upon a Dream was supposed to be in front of the castle? It's moved inside the Golden Horseshoe. Same 11:05 showtime though. With how cold it is, I'm not mad about it.
Good evening and welcome everyone. Here tonight we gather for a musical look at love
and romance and the magical bonds that hold all of us together.
My dream came true, which means yours can't.
Wow, that was such a treat. And we're not slowing down because now we're in line to meet Milo and Kida from Atlantis, which is honestly such a rare character moment. So now it's just past midnight and I'm not going to lie, Meg and I are definitely feeling it. It's been a long night between the wind, the rain, and all that running around. But the party ends in about an hour and there's still a couple more step into the scene photo ops we really wanted to squeeze in. So right now we're in line for the Aladdin photo over by It's a Small World. And as you can see, the park is starting to clear out. Earlier tonight, this line was pretty busy when we walked by, so this might actually be one of those late night strategy wins. Sometimes staying until the very end really does pay off. And the very last photo op we wanted to catch tonight was the Little Mermaid. And just look at that horizontal rain. It is absolutely coming down sideways at this point. Huge props to our PhotoPass cast members for braving the wind and the cold right along with us. They are total troopers. So now that we've experienced Sweethearts Nite in wind and rain, the big question is, was it still worth it? Well, first, let's talk about the modifications. The Celebrate Love Cavalcade was definitely adjusted to a rainy day version. It was shorter, simplified, and missing the elaborate floats, but we are genuinely grateful that Disney chose to offer a version at all instead of canceling it outright. The Tangled Step into the Scene photo op is another one to be mindful of. Ironically, the indoor photo experience was actually more at risk in heavy rain. The Royal Theater sits on a downslope, and we later learned that too much runoff could literally cause the water to pool around the boat prop. They managed to keep it open throughout our night, but that one will really depend on rainfall levels. Character experiences will also shift. Some may relocate, some may go undercover, and occasionally some may not appear at all depending on conditions. Disney does their best to adjust, but flexibility is key. The Once Upon a Dream show was moved indoors, which changed the dynamic a bit. Had it remained in front of the castle, the singers and characters would have performed together. Instead, we essentially experienced two parts of what would have been one combined production, just separately. And yes, we didn't get everything done. We didn't meet every character we hoped to, we didn't ride a single attraction, and we unfortunately missed the Lady in the Tramp photo. The area was roped off early, and we later found out a tree had fallen due to the wind, so some closures were genuinely weather-related safety decisions. So is it worth it in the rain? Our biggest tip for any after-hour events is this: prioritize what matters most to you. Mobile order early if there's a specialty item you really want. Decide your must-do characters, build in flexibility, and most importantly, adjust your expectations and lean into the experience. Sweethearts Nite takes place during a time of year when rain is always a possibility. So if this helps you plan ahead, especially knowing weather can change the flow of the night, then we've done our job. Was it the picture-perfect Sweethearts Nite? No. But was it memorable, cozy, and still full of special moments? Absolutely. And now we want to know, would you still attend an after-hours Disney event if rain was in the forecast? Or would you reschedule if you could? Let us know in the comments below. Well, Gem fam, thank you so much for following along on our super rainy first Sweethearts Nite at Disneyland. If you enjoyed this video and found it helpful, don't forget to like and subscribe so we can keep growing our Jam Fam community, and we will see you next time.